Alright, YouTube, what's up? I'm back with the random older build that I decided to spice up and take to locals, and ended up getting fourth place after losing round one and then just winning out the rest of the rounds. So round one, lost to lunalights because they Fua got them into exactly what they needed to go straight into Liger Dancer, and the whole point of what I needed to do in the extra deck was stop them from going into Liger Dancer, so that kind of messed things up. But yeah, he went straight into Liger Dancer, and there was nothing you could really do about it after that. I do have ideas for outing Liger Dancer, but that's in a different build. After that, it was a weird mix of Mitsurugi Sky Striker. Their whole plan was to go through the Mitsu engine, which will put 3 spells in their grave and then do the Sky Striker stuff. So yeah, he went 3 spells through the Mitsurugi combo, activate engage. I was like, yeah, that works. But okay, sure. And then the second one ended, round 3 was Branded Dracotail, and round 4 was Cool Tune. So yeah, lost a Lunalight, beat Branded Dracotail, Cool Tune, and a Mitsurugi Sky Striker list. So yeah, not harsh. There's some pretty competitive decks at my locals most of the time. So, and a lot of the guys there have top regionals, so I like to think of it as pretty competitive. But other than that, I'll take y'all through the list. It usually catches a lot of people off guard, and that's usually how I win it. Hello, Asta, the cat. Anywho, going through the main deck first, you got your normal lineup of 3 Simoons. Simoon just being the best starter in the deck, but when you do play him at 3, it's important to play enough names so the ratios work out where you're going to see him and ideally 2 other names, because the worst thing is him, 1 name, and 3 random cards. So if you get ashed on his normal summon on the whirlwind, you're kind of screwed there. So yeah, seeing another summon you can get is great. So if you see, the way this deck works is a lot of 2-card combos. If you see just any combination of cards, you can see Simoon plus any Blackwing. You can see Sudri plus one of its 2 possible search targets that you would get off a Whirlwind or Whirlwind itself. So if you see Sudri and Whirlwind, you're still doing the same thing that Simoon was going to do. If you see Sudri and Avada, well, now the Sudri is going to search the Shamal, and you still get to do the same thing. So combinations of these 2 cards, or any 2 of these cards, still get you to the same place. So we're playing 3 Simoon, 3 Sudri, 3 Vada, and 2 Shamal. And instead of the 3rd Shamal, we play 1 Pineapple Bird, Oster. I like Oster, especially going second, because he helps out with Blackwing Full Armor Master, clearing the boards. If you don't know what he does, he's a level 4 on normal summon. He brings back a level 4 or lower Blackwing monster from your banish pile. So whatever Sudri banished, you can bring it back. Or if Shamal already used his effect, you can bring Shamal back. If they DD crowed something or bestialed something, you can bring it back. He's pretty helpful for those purposes, but his graveyard effect's the most important. He'll banish himself out of the grave and either put wedge counters on all of your opponent's monsters or black feather counters on your Blackwing Dragon equal to the number of monsters your opponent controls. So you can get in some good burn damage to make it easier to OTK them, or you can turn on Full Armor Master's effect on, well, they may have tried to not use a specific monster, so Full Armor Master can't take him. I don't care. I'm taking the biggest monster or the most important monster, running you over with everything, and then blow up the entire board at end phase. So everything with the full armor, the counter on it will die to Full Armor Master at the end phase anyway. So, or if it can't die, then I'll take it and I'll keep it while the rest of them die. So yeah, he's underrated. I like him. Easy ways to get them into the graveyard, or if you don't need the second normal summon of Sudri, you can search and summon him in order to do stuff like that. Zonda, of course, just for the combos off Vada. I'm actually playing a Chris and a Bora in order to have the extra summons, but also the extra Simoon fodder. Because again, opening Sudri plus one of these others is still letting you do a lot of combos. Sometimes you can get the Vada and you need the or if they imperm the Vada, well, you have a level 4 you can special summon, go into Boreas Storm, and then still start doing different shenanigans off that. So you're still good. Then we have Harmattan, Sharga, normal stuff, Chinook, and we're actually playing an Orochi because we're playing the new Zalin, the Iron Chained Dragon, or whatever he's called now, the Bound Dragon. He requires, Italian. He requires a tuner and a synchro monster, so this plus Nathung, or if you have Nathung and Boreas Storm, send this, become a level 1, sync with Nathung in order to get into Zalin anyway. So there's different scenarios where you can get into this, but yeah, you need a synchro, or a tuner and a synchro monster in order to get into Zalin, so that helps. As far as the spells go, we're going to clean this up. As far as the spells go, we go 2 Black Whirlwinds, 2 Black Feather Whirlwinds. I know most people play 1, but seeing 2 was very helpful today. They stopped, they would try to stop Shamal sometimes. Actually, Shamal got caught by the grave once just because they knew to keep me off of Feather Whirlwind, so I can't keep recycling monsters. So they tried to stop him with Caught by the Grave that they had set. And I was like, well, that's a little annoying. But then there was other times where they used a pop effect to get rid of one of the Feather Whirlwinds, but I still have a backup. I also like a backup for this because Assault Dragon blows up the whole board. So even if I had I like to hard make one while still leaving the Blackwing Dragon and Boreas Storm in the graveyard to make a second one if I need the follow-up. So if this gets popped off of the first dragon blowing up the board, I still have a second one to fall back on. And then, so if I have the second one in hand, I'll just play it, bring back or banish the 2 out the grave, summon the second Assault Dragon, and then bring back something off of that. So having 2 is good for the follow-up. And then Twin Shadow was really a helpful disruption. And then that's it for the Blackwing related cards. The little small side engine I ended up playing was a Samorg package. So what you do with this is you play 3 Samorg Bird of Perfection. Bird of Perfection is a level 4 that basically says when you normal summon a winged beast monster, you can reveal this in hand. So you activate it in hand, which would chain block your normal summon. It triggers off the normal summon of a winged beast, so it can chain block Sudri and Whirlwinds. You can go chain link 1 Sudri, chain link 2 Whirlwind, chain link 3 Samorg in hand because they all have the same trigger. So that would be very helpful, chain blocking from Ash. And yeah, so go Samorg, Bird of Perfection, and then so you'll go, let's say you do Simoon's combo, cool. You summon Simoon, trigger Whirlwind, chain this to chain block the Whirlwind so you can protect yourself from that. And then you're gonna do your search, but then on the new chain, when this is on field, it activates in order to dump a Samorg monster. So you'll dump Samorg of Darkness, and that allows you to search Elborz, the field spell. Elborz says that your wind wing beast gain 2100, and both of the Simorgs are dark and wind while on field. So this 1800 is actually 21, and this 2900 is actually 32. Pretty helpful. But then also it says you can, if you control a wind winged beast, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, normal summon a winged beast. So while you have this Simorg or that Simorg on the field, this allows you an extra normal summon of a winged beast monster. So with this in the deck, plus Nathung, Samoon's effect, and your regular normal for turn, you ended up getting 4 normal summons out of that. Sometimes they've stopped my Sudri effect, but I still went into this combo and was able to get an extra normal summon on top of what I was already going to do. And since it's not Whirlwind, it's not, and Sudri are both soft once per turns, or not even once per turn for Whirlwind, yeah, you end up getting multiple searches. If you bounce Sudri back to hand, or had an extra in hand, or had an Oster in hand, well, you're going to get an extra normal summon of that, and that's going to work out pretty well. You play the Simorg of Darkness because while this is in the grave or in hand, if you tribute summon a dark or wind monster, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and then when a spell or trap is activated, you can quick effect tribute a wind winged beast monster to negate that activation and destroy it. So while these two are on field, you can while he's on field, you can tribute this to spell trap negate, or tribute himself to spell trap negate. And yes, it says when you tribute summon one, but actually what I ended up doing was instead of Shamal adding back Samoon, or adding back Sudri, I did Shamal add back Zonda. And then when he added back Zonda, I used the Elborz extra normal summon to tribute off pretty much anything, and tribute summon Zonda, because Zonda's a level 6. So I can do one tribute summon him, that triggers Samoon in the graveyard to bring himself back. So now I'm sitting here with a spell trap negation on my turn, as well as Zonda being summoned back can compulse something, and then you can just combo from there. So it actually ended up working out pretty well, and it helps me stay on theme playing all the winged beasts, which doesn't hurt. As far as hand traps go, we've got Molcharmies, Ash, Imperms, and Impulse. These worked out fairly well. Bell would have been helpful in some niche scenarios, but draw me cards, stop their Molcharmy or stop their Searcher. Sometimes that's all you need. Imperm just good for going first and second, and then Impulse as well. Yeah, so 12 hand traps in a 42 card deck. I saw one or two fairly often in my opening hand. The only time I didn't open a hand trap was when I lost the dice roll. I actually lost all 4 dice rolls all day and still went 3-1. So that's a large part due to the extra deck and the side deck, which for the extra deck, SP Little Knight and Y-Strix are pretty helpful, but then we play 2 Assault Dragons, 1 of the full Armor Master, and then 1 Dispetter, 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, Silverwind for the trap card to pop stuff on your opponent's turn, Blackwing Dragon, Rikery, just because we're playing that Orochi, so sometimes you want to go into this for breaking boards, so go ahead and pop a few cards. Zalin, the Shackled Dragon, Boreas Storm, Nathung, and then the thing that really helped solidify my inboards and make sure they're not going to be able to play through it, or they have to rework their entire combo to play through it, is Muddy Mud Dragon into Invoke Kaliga. So usually you can do in the bestial version we would do, instead of Kaliga, do Dragoons, because Muddy Mud Dragon can activate his effect to fusion summon, and he can count himself as any specific name on the fusion material list. So he can count himself as Dark Magician, and then a Bestial or the Blackwing Dragon would turn into Dragoons. Or he counts himself as Alistair the Invoker, and any dark monster, go figure, we've got plenty of those, makes Invoke Kaliga. And what he does is you pretty much summon him in defense mode because he's got 1800 defense, and so his defense is higher than most people's normal summon. And then if a monster's effect would attempt to activate, none of that player's monsters can activate their effects for the rest of the turn while this card is face up on the field. Each player can only attack with one monster during each battle phase. So he locks you into one effect and one attack per turn. And then you just play Protect the Castle. So, and you've got your Imperm, Impulse, we side deck the Forbidden Chalice, so we're going to protect him using mostly spells and traps, so we don't even have to waste our one monster effect. And then if they do clear this, then it turns on everything else. Your Sharnga Engrave, your Dissipator to negate or destroy, your Zalin to negate and destroy, your Assault Dragon to blow up the board. So if they out this, they're opening up 4 or 5 other interruptions that you would have had. The Chinook in hand as well. The Ash in hand as well. Stuff like that. So they have to play very differently trying to out this, since they only get the one monster effect. Most of the ways they would out it are usually inside of their combos. So they're trying to out this is actually pretty difficult for a lot of decks. And then you play Protect the Castle and you're good to go, because they won't out it. And then you can either link it off or sync with it, because it's just a level 4. So pretty easy synchro material as well. But yep, that's the deck. If this gets to 50 likes, I'll make the combo for what I was talking about. The side deck, we played the Ark Rebellion Raiders Knight combo. I won a couple of games just OTKing off of that going second, especially if you go Chalice, cut everything in half. He gains the original attacks of all monsters on the field. So you cut them in half, you drop them with Chinook and Nathung and Blackwing Dragon's effects, and you've gotten plenty of burn damage in. And then you drop their attacks by either half with the Chalice or whatever else off the other stuff. He gains their original attacks, and then you just swing over the weakest attack position monster, which actually came in handy because Orochi, when you use him to synchro summon, you can change the battle position of one monster on the field. So I can take your weakest attack point monster and put it into attack mode anyway. So you're getting hit with it. And then we also played a Satellite Warrior, easy level 10 to go into. And basically when you synchro into him, you target any cards your opponent controls up to the number of synchro monsters in your graveyard, destroy them, and then he gains 1,000 for each of the monsters destroyed this way. So if you do Boreas Storm, turn him into a level 2, sync with Blackwing Dragon into this, that's at least 2 pops and makes him 4,500. So we'll just go ahead and run your opponent over pretty easy. Also, if you can bait out the lunalight monster, the Liger Dancer, before trying to make this, then yeah, bait out its nuke effect, then you make this. And yeah, 4,500, you can get over some pretty big stuff. Rest of the extra deck, Shifter, put in work. I sided it in twice. I opened it twice, and it pretty much won the game against Branded Dracotail as well. Like, having this on the field and Invoked Kaliga, yeah, Branded Dracotail scooped, Cool Tunes scooped yeah, they saw this game 3 and just scooped. And was like, yeah, there's nothing I'm gonna be able to do. Um, 2 droll and lockbird. So yeah, I would side in 1 shifter, 2 drolls, and only see the shifter. uh, 3 droplets, 2 lightning storms, and a feather duster for all those back rows, especially the dracotail stuff, and then 3 gravity collapse. You just gotta remember to use it at the correct time. It only stops inherent summons, so it doesn't stop like spell cards that are gonna fusion summon, which suck. So you gotta stop the inherent summons, which are gonna be like just a normal summon or summoning off of its own summoning condition, stuff like that. But still, when they do that normal summon or link summon or synchro summon, whatever, you're just gonna go gravity collapse, tribute a synchro monster, negate and destroy that monster, and they can't summon for the rest of the turn. So yeah, it pretty much ends their turn, which is pretty helpful. But yep, that's the deck. Pretty much shuts everyone down. This is going to be also in my Cool Tune deck. I have the whole core for that. I'm just waiting for the new stuff to come out before I actually try to play it, or in a tournament at least. But I might take it to locals next week and see what happens. There were 2 other people in that locals playing Cool Tunes, and I only played 1 of them, so that was fine. But yeah, that's the deck. That's pretty much how it goes. If y'all have any questions or comments, leave them down there. Get this to 50 likes, and I'll make a combo video to show you just what can happen when you open Simoon, a Blackwing, and the Samor card, the Bird of Perfection. It really just opens up a lot of possibilities of what you can do with this deck just by chain blocking and getting that extra body on board, especially if you start playing more Exceeds monsters in it, because you can just Exceeds Turbo very easily. Just easily get the 2 extra bodies on board. All you gotta do is normal summon a Blackwing, and you trigger the Samorgan hand to get a second level 4 body on board. So pretty easy with that as well. So yep, I'll show y'all that combo if y'all want to. Just let me know. But yeah, other than that, that's the deck. Peace.